What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video I want to talk about premiums. So whether you're trying to stack silver or invest in physical silver bullion, what is a premium, and also what would be considered too high of a premium? So let's do it! Thank you so much for watching my video. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you would like to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you would just like to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, then make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alright, so let's get into premiums. First off, what is a premium when buying silver? Well, you need to look at a couple things. We'll use this generic silver round here as an example. So the first thing is, what is the spot price of silver, or essentially the paper price of silver? We can look to the stock market for that and figure out the spot price. Now, right as I'm filming this video, it's around $15. Now, if you take the total price of this 1 ounce generic silver round, which is about $20, then the premium would be $5. So you minus the spot price from the total price and you get the premium. Pretty easy to understand. Another example would be American Silver Eagles. We've seen pretty high premiums recently. So these are going for about 25 bucks right now. However, with a $15 spot price, that gives us a $10 premium, which is pretty high considering that premiums on Eagles have only been around $3 over the last almost decade. So that's a little bit about premiums. Now, I actually did a poll here on my channel to ask you all, the viewers, what is the highest premium you've ever paid on a 1 ounce silver coin? And these are the results. So we had just over 2,000 people vote, and 32% of people said that $3 was the highest they've ever paid as a premium for a 1 ounce silver coin. Now, that's not very high. And I should add that I had them round to the nearest dollar amount as well for the voting. We had 43% of people say that $10 was the highest premium they've ever paid. If we add those two together, we actually get 3/4 of all the people. So 1,500 of the people said that $10 or less was the highest premium they've ever paid for silver. We had 15% say that $25 was the highest premium they've ever paid. 8% said $100. That's actually where I fit into personally. I bought some pretty expensive collector pieces, so I'm right in that area. And then we actually had 3% say that $1,000 was the highest premium they've ever paid for an ounce of silver. That comes to about 60 people. So these are probably collectors, people that bought super rare coins, something like the enhanced reverse proof American Silver Eagle with the San Francisco mint mark. These are going for about $800 right now, but it's just 1 ounce of silver. I'm really lucky to have acquired this from the mint when they were actually selling them, and I paid around 70 bucks for it. But the premium is super high on them now, so if you want to pick them up secondary market, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. Now, for the sake of this video, I want to look at premiums from the point of view of the stacker or the investor. If you're just collecting silver or buying silver as a hobby, then premiums don't really matter to you. You're just buying whatever pieces you like. But if you're trying to stack silver or buy silver at a relatively low price, hold it for a long period of time, and use it as a savings account, well, premiums do matter to you. And if you're trying to invest in silver, buy silver at a relatively low price, and then sell it when the price goes up, well, premiums really matter a lot to you. So looking from the point of view of the stacker or the investor, there's a few things you need to understand. Number one, premiums change over time. As I mentioned with the American Silver Eagle, premiums used to be about $3 on these. Well, now that there's more demand, the premium has gone up, and it's about a $10 premium to acquire American Silver Eagles. Does that mean you shouldn't be buying any because the price is so much higher? Well, not necessarily. Here's the thing. When you're buying silver, you need to, yes, buy whatever is the cheapest you can buy, but also you got to think about resellability. So when it comes to resellability, essentially, how easy is it going to be to offload all of the silver that you have bought. If you're trying to invest in silver, obviously you want things that are going to be really easy to sell in the future. So, for example, probably the easiest things to sell, depending on where you live, would be generic silver rounds, silver bars, really any size silver bar, silver coins, especially American silver eagles, Canadian silver maple leafs, Britannias, just well-known silver coins, and then also junk silver. Junk silver is very easy to sell when you want to sell it. So those are the things I would probably recommend buying the most. However, there are lots of other types of silver out there. Now, one thing that you're probably really going to want to avoid is collectible pieces of silver, like the swans. Now, these are really beautiful, really awesome. Typically, these have about a $65 premium on them. This is the 2017 Swan from the Perth Mint. However, I got it for about a $25 premium because I did get it on sale. Now, when these were on sale, you might have thought, that's actually a super good deal. Maybe I should buy a whole bunch of those and then resell them for a higher price. Well, technically that's silver flipping. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. But the thing about flipping silver is there's actually a lot of labor involved to buy the pieces and then sell them at a higher price. Typically, you're going to have to sell them on sites like eBay or maybe Etsy or something like that. And there are a lot of fees associated. You've got eBay fees. You also have PayPal fees, shipping. There's a lot of things you need to take into account for if you're going to be buying collector coins and then reselling them at a higher price. So I would say if you're trying to stack silver or invest in silver, then you really need to stay away from the collector pieces, even though you might be able to get them fairly cheap right now because they're either on sale or people are just offloading them for lower premiums than they usually have. Because either they need to sell them for the money or they're just not as popular right now. I would say probably still stick away from them. Stay with the stuff that's going to be easy to resell in the long run. Now, bringing it back to premiums, typically the things that have the lowest premium on them would be junk silver or generic silver. Now, the problem with junk silver is right now, as I'm filming, this is actually in very high demand. Lots of people like to stack junk silver or 90% silver coins because they're so liquid, so easy to resell. So because the premiums are actually fairly higher than normal on junk silver, I would say that's probably not your best option. American Silver Eagles typically are an awesome thing to stack. They're one of my favorite things to stack, and I've stacked quite a few of them. However, because the premiums are so high right now, I would probably stay away from these as well. You'll have other things like fractional generic silver. That can be very tempting to buy. However, usually the premiums are actually higher on fractional generic silver compared to other types of generic silver. Fractional silver just means that it is less than an ounce. So if you're buying generics, I would recommend buying 1 ounce or higher. If you're buying silver bars, you could buy 10-ounce silver bars, kilo bars, 100-ounce bars, or even just 1-ounce bars, but usually you'll do pretty well on those. My favorite thing to buy when it comes to generic silver is by far the 1-ounce generic silver rounds. They're in very high demand, and they're actually super easy to resell. My local coin shop loves buying and selling generic silver rounds, so for that reason, these are a great thing for me personally to stack, but you should probably do some research and see what your local coin shop likes to buy and sell the most. Typically, when you go to sell your silver, the best place to sell it is just to your local coin shop. So if they're open, you should go down there and talk to them and figure out what they like to buy and sell and stack something of that nature. Another place you can sell your silver would be to an online bullion dealer. Online bullion dealers will buy a really wide variety of different types of silver, but still the stuff that's the most liquid is going to be what you're going to get the most bang for your buck out of. So again, generic silver is a great thing for that reason. Now, one other thing that I wanted to mention is that there are other types of silver obviously out there. For instance, poured silver. Now, you might have been wondering what this was. This is actually a 2-ounce piece of poured silver. It looks super dirty because I haven't cleaned it or anything, but I actually poured this myself. Now, I love pouring silver. I think it's super fun, and you can make really cool art pieces. Every single piece is unique, but typically poured silver is not great for reselling because they're looked at more as collector pieces. Usually they will carry a higher premium, but that's not guaranteed. So for me, what I would do is I would take that piece of silver and turn it into something like this. My channel rounds, the Silver Dragons rounds. Super fun, super cool. I love these for collecting. In fact, I buy tons of poured silver, but I just buy it for collecting because I like it. These I do make myself. I do everything here. But I would say for stacking purposes, these aren't a great idea. However, if you wanted to buy one just for fun, I will have my website link down below in the description. The last thing I want to say about premiums when it comes to buying silver is that I personally look at the total price for the silver, not necessarily the premium. For me personally, I'm not trying to buy any silver at over $20 an ounce. So if the spot price of silver is $15 and the premium on a piece is over $5, well, I'm just not interested in it. You might have a higher threshold for buying. That's just where I'm at. So right now, probably the only stuff I could find that's within my price range would be generic silver. So this would be what I would be stacking mostly right now. I would skip the junk silver unless I can find a good deal on it. I would also skip the American Silver Eagles. The collector pieces, yeah, I buy them, but I'm just a collector. I'm buying them for fun. If you are trying to stack silver or invest in silver, you should be trying to buy it as cheap as you possibly can with the idea of resellability in mind. So price and resellability are the two things you should be thinking about when you're buying your silver. I would highly recommend, yes, lower premium silver is typically better, but if you're buying dirt cheap silver that's unrecognizable coins or coins from different countries that no one's really heard about, they might be kind of hard to sell. So it's not always best to buy just the absolute rock bottom price silver, but buy something that's a little bit more recognizable, even if you have to pay a little bit more money for it, because in the long run, I guarantee it's going to be a lot easier to sell. Now, when it comes to junk silver, I actually did make a whole buying guide so that you don't pay too much when buying junk silver, because it's actually kind of hard to price if you've never bought it before. I will put a link up in the corner to that video. I highly recommend you check it out. The last thing that I wanted to mention was that my thoughts on premiums might be totally different from yours. Based on that poll I did, there was actually a lot of people that were paying super high premiums for different types of silver. These people might be silver flippers or coin collectors. I've got no idea. But I do know that the vast majority of the people that voted in that poll prefer to pay lower premiums for their silver. I was actually surprised to see that almost a third of people have never paid over a $3 premium for their silver. That's absolutely crazy, especially considering that you can hardly find any silver for under a $3 premium right now. So that just goes to show that people like buying lower premium silver. And generally speaking, lower premium silver is the best type of silver for stacking and investing as long as it's fairly recognizable. So anyway, if you had any thoughts or opinions, please leave them down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. I also want to say a massive thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you all in the next one. Silver Dragons out.